Okay, so we're inside the tent. As you can see, that's the center pole. There's the door. Let's see how well you guys can see me. There are my feet. And as you guys can see, they're not even touching the other end. Okay, so there's the top of my head. There's the other end of the wall. I'm 6 feet tall. You guys can see. This is my USMC whatever sleeping bag. Onyx, come inside. You guys can see. No, stay. Get inside. Come here. Go to sleep. Down. No. Go to sleep. Down. Come here. Down. Good boy. Stay. So that's him. He's not even touching the other end of the wall. Come here. Scratch it. No. You're gonna stay inside. Stay inside. Onyx. Okay, go. Get out of here. So yeah. Let's see what else. It's got the ventilation. I don't know if you guys can see the type of meshing this is. It's very, very thin. Very thin. But you can actually feel air coming into the tent. Right now I believe it is around 54 degrees. Oh, you saw something. And it's actually quite nice and cool inside. Oh, my battery's flashing. Okay guys, well, that just switched the battery. You guys can see I have a sleepy dog over here. That's all my equipment. That's my backpack. See if I can. There's a water bottle, my bows. That little blue bag has all my what are they calling? Hygiene stuff, toilet paper, hand wipes, and baby wipes. There's the wool blanket that I bought at the gun show, $20. And at first it wasn't itchy, but then I kind of tried to sleep with it one night and it was too itchy for me. So yeah, that's what happens when you buy cheap stuff. So what I did is I cut it in half, and because it weighs a lot, and I just kind of size it to my dog's body weight and length, or just the length of his body, and apparently he doesn't like it either. He rather sleeps right next to me. What else? I got my bow back there somewhere. I have my Celtic Sub 2000 with 2 10-round 40 caliber mags. I got my boots. I don't know if you guys can see this. That boot is not touching the wall, and my foot is not touching the boot. So that's how large this tent is. There's the other small backpack that came with the ILBE. That one has all my hunting stuff, the yo-yos. What else? What else did I bring? Oh, a small tackle box with some fishing stuff. I was gonna bring my big tackle box, but thank God I didn't, because my back is killing me. What's wrong? Guess he scared himself. It's okay. What else? So I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant. So if you guys want to stop watching this, go ahead. You're just gonna see all this all over again. Anyways, so the reason why I went with a teepee tent, and I think I already talked about this, well, one of the reasons, there we go, good boy, that's what I want him to do. That's why I put the wool blanket over there so he can sleep on top of that instead of sleeping on this. I also set the wool blanket next to the fire so he can kind of lay down there, but I think he's afraid of the fire. Okay guys, oh, I'm trying to make myself comfortable. What is it? Oh, oh man. Oh. You guys will not believe how heavy that thing was. My back is killing me. It's all my legs, especially my back. Good boy, Onyx. He actually wants to be outside, but he's still a little bit wet. And it's already getting dark and it's getting cold. So, what I did is I closed both doors. And it's still a little bit, I wouldn't say cold in here, but it's pretty much perfect. Let's see what else. Oh, so on this, I already killed it. I was gonna show you guys a spider that I found inside, but I ended up closing down at the bottom, so nothing gets in and nothing gets out. So that's one of the reasons why I went with the teepee tent. Well, I mean, most tents will keep, you know, bugs and insects out of the tent. And I'm gonna go on a rant a little bit here. So if you guys wanna fast forward, that's fine. It took me over 4 months. No, 3 months. And doing research on the type of tent that I wanted. And the reason why is because there's so many, and all I know is that it had to be lightweight, durable, waterproof, big enough for me and Onyx and maybe another person, or maybe enough to where I could, you know, have a little fire inside. And it had to be a 4-season tent. So I know if you have the money, you can go to Kifaru, I think it's called, website, and they have some nice teepee tents. But unless you're super rich and have that kind of money, then go for it. I think the cheapest one I found was like $800, and that was a small tent. And just remember, if they said that, you know, it's a 4-people tent or 4-person tent, it's more like a 2. They say it's a 5-person tent, it's more like a 3, and so on and so forth. I'm not sure. I mean, you could probably fit, you know, short people in a tent, but that's about, you know, just keep that in mind when buying a tent. The other company that I was looking into was Sports Guide, something like that. They had a 10 by 10, I think 18 by 18, I think. I did some review on them, and they were all horrible. They say that it's not waterproof, that if it rains, it's gonna pretty much just soak you wet. There's a lot of condensation in the morning. What else? The zippers suck. They don't hold up very well. Let's see. That's pretty much about it. So that's on the Sportsman Guide. I know they have a 10 by 10, and I think it's the other one's the 18 by 18. I'm not sure how much they weigh. I forgot. I didn't bring down the specs with me, but you can go to the website and find out. I think the 10 by 10 was $100, or you can find it for $100 in Amazon. So that kind of tells you the quality of the tent. Let's see who else. Kafaru was one of them. They got some nice tents, Tipi tents. I don't like the material they're made out of. It looks very, very thin and very, very fragile. And it's way too expensive. There's another company, I can't remember the name of it. They have some camouflage tents, but they're stupid, ridiculously expensive. I think the cheapest one was $650, $700. And it was a small tent too. I think it's like a 7 by 7. So I didn't like that one. Because it was way too expensive. Who else? I was also looking into military tents. There's some good ones out there, but they're way too heavy. And their price ranges can be from cheap to kind of medium. You just have to do some research. My leg itches. What else? Let's see, military tents. I've looked into kind of getting a parachute and making a tent out of it just by putting a center pole and tying some knots on the outside and then just making a tent. But then again, a parachute's kind of a little bit too heavy. What else? I've actually thought about making my own tent, Tipi tent, and I've had everything. Well, I had a list of what I was gonna buy. I was gonna get the center pole. It's what do they call it? Telescoping pole. And they had little holes at the top. That way you can set the height of the pole. The other one was the material. I was gonna go with 1000D Cordura nylon. What my backpack is made out of, because it's durable, and they had the colors I wanted. They had, that type of brown, that type of brown. They had OD green, and they had camouflage. But I think a square yard cost me around $30, so that was way too expensive. But I was gonna buy it, and then I was looking into the Cabelas outback lodge tent. There were not a lot of reviews on Amazon, but if you go to the Cabelas website, there's tons and tons and tons of reviews on this. I guess the downside. Well, let me back up a little. I was looking for videos on YouTube on this tent, and hopefully this video will kind of give you an idea. And there was one YouTube video. It was short. The guy had a 10 by 10. And it kind of showed me what the tent, the width and the height and all that was. But when I went through the reviews on Cabelas, I found a lot of negative reviews saying it's not waterproof. The stakes are made out of plastic. The center pole is made out of plastic. Let's see, it's not waterproof. What else? The zippers suck because they, I guess they get caught on the lining or whatever. And so far, I think if you look at the reviews on Cabela's website, they date back to the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. I think I saw some 1990s, 1999. If you guys can see that. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh. That was a spider. Oh. Well, that's not a spider, that's a bug. It's a tiny bug. But there was a spider right there. And I'll come back to that. But anyways, if you look at the reviews, they were all And I think what happened is Cabelas had this tent out a while back, and then they updated the model. So they updated a bunch of stuff: the zippers, the stakes, the pole, the stitching, all that stuff. So I think that's what happened. So far, I like it. We'll see in the morning how much condensation there is. I gotta save the battery for that. Let's see what else. The other thing, I'm too lazy to get up, but it came with probably what, 2.5 foot pole. Well, 2 foot pole. That if you look at the instructions, which I'll show you guys the video on, I'll shoot a video on the box review. Show you guys the box. They're supposed to go right here. Oh, so that's where they go from. Oh, I see. I thought you had to put them all the way up here. So the poles go here, and then the other one, if you guys can see that, goes right there. So that just kind of makes it like that, more stand up a little bit more. And those poles are made of aluminum, so they're really lightweight. The pole is lightweight. The only thing that's way too heavy are the stakes. They look okay in quality, but I'll probably go with aluminum, just so I can save some weight on the backpack. But anyways, so if you look at the reviews, they're old, and I think Cabelas ended up updating the tent to something better. I wasn't able to find any videos or pictures of the tent dating back to the early 2000s or are you tired? Good morning, guys. It's 9 o'clock, and it was really cold last night. I ended up having a cold puppy inside with me. Thank God I brought his wool blanket. That helped a lot. I think my voice is going out. But it was really cold last night. I mean, it was freezing. I ended up closing all the windows, and I forgot to close the ones on top, which I'm guessing it would have helped. The tent held up really good though. There was a couple times in the middle of the night, I think it was like 2 in the morning. Oh, what was that? 2 in the morning. Let's see, and then again early in the morning, like 6, it started raining. Not heavy, just drizzling, but you can definitely, hear it. And actually, if you guys can see, it's all pretty much dry. No water got inside the tent. What else? There was moisture. If you touched it with your hand on the inside, you felt water, but you didn't feel it to where it was drizzling down on the side or anything like that. It's just, I guess, from the rain and all the moisture. Other than that, it held up pretty good. So it's gonna be a hike back. There was my rifle, which I used. We got a couple times in the middle of the night, his stomach was growling. Again, looking for rocks. So I took him out a couple times. My flashlight died. I don't think I have it. If you guys have any questions on the flashlight, ask me. It's a Streamlight. I bought it from Snap-on when I was working on cars. And it's really easy to recharge, but there it is. I've dropped it, and so far it's still working. It's expensive though, that's for sure. What else? The stakes, I'm gonna probably get rid of them because I believe the stakes weigh more than the tent actually, and that's really heavy. I'll take those with me. I'll take the center pole with me. That's about it. It's a beautiful morning. It's starting to get warmer due to the sun, which is nice because it was freezing last night. The sleeping bag, it was okay for the most part. One thing that if you're gonna buy this type of tent and set it up is find a spot where you're gonna sleep on, like inside the tent. Get a bunch of leaves and then set them, like first like set the leaves on the floor, on the ground, then set the tent on top of that. So when you set it up, there's going to be like a bulky area. Well, that's where you're going to sleep on, because I didn't do that, and there's some sticks and some big ass rocks that were hurting my back. This didn't do a good job of you know, blocking the rocks and the sticks, so that kind of hurt. But late last night, well, right before it started getting dark, there was a few spiders crawling around. So that's one of the reasons I went with this type of tent. It's large. So far it held up really good. I just gotta do it came with a seam sealer, so I gotta do that. But it keeps the bugs out. Insects, mosquitoes, spiders, snakes that like to crawl into cold spaces at night or warm spaces. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask me. I'm about to head back. It's gonna be like a 2-hour hike. So okay guys, before I put it back in, I want to show you guys something. If you guys look closely, it's 98% dry, 98.9% dry. As soon as the sun comes in the morning, give it about an hour, and then all that moisture, all the wetness is gonna go away. Because if you try to pack it, and first thing in the morning, it's still gonna be soaking wet, so it's gonna weigh more because it still has the water on it. So give it about an hour after the sun comes up, and it'll become dry again. That way you don't have to carry it twice the weight because of all the water it's retaining. Okay, so I just want to show you guys that. Come. Heel. Good heel. Good boy. Holy fuck. Hold on.